Edenal, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, today, we have a bit of a treat for you. This is dropshipping. EVO-7, AP, Grasshopper, and moi are running with another advanced dropship on our side, and we're just kind of doing gunning. And really, this is just an expose on how fun gunning is. And I think you'll certainly agree as we go through this. So straight into the match, and look at this, straight into a pretty funny dropship fight. Eva's using a Python here, not my kind of cup of tea. I think I do prefer the Incubus, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I think a lot of the fun we're having at the moment is around, I guess, just getting vehicles in and kind of stomping with them. Well, again, this whole map was made possible by there being no red line railgun tanks in it. Now, I think there were some towards the end of the match, but certainly towards the start of it, it seemed that everybody was actually, quote, looking for good fights, which was such a nice thing to see. And it's a rarity nowadays, let's face it. And I think a lot of people just want to kind of get in, stomp. People used to snipe with the old the sniper rifles, effectively. And it just feels that nowadays people are just calling in tanks to snipe now. I know it's we've spoken about it before, it's a long topic. Who knows, by the time this video is released, maybe further knowledge is imparted to our brains that tells us really what the hell is going to happen to stop this. My suspicion is that they're not going to change too much. Likely it is they may put the cost of the militia tank up. They may also maybe make it a bit less good. I don't know if that's even possible, but I would maybe make its power grid go down a bit as well. So, you can't fit 2 damage mods and all that. To be honest, there is no answer to a lot of the issues of this game currently, and I was talking to the dudes earlier about it. The fact is that once you start pulling at one thread, you start pulling, everything else starts to unravel. So, and everything seems to be kind of buffed and nerfed in isolation of the wider picture as well. So I think, in one, upgrade, we see a particular thing nerfed because maybe it's too powerful. Then the whole thing changes, and then that gun kind of would have made sense not to have been changed. I'll maybe give you an example of the Flaylock slightly here. I mean, maybe even things. Well, yeah. There's a few guns out there that are kind of would make me think that it made no sense to kind of nerf them. If after all, when the whole TTK thing kind of kicked off, it was then that you started to think, well, why did they nerf the Flaylock when all of a sudden, TTK became less of a thing? It was almost all about, assault rifles could kick out as much damage as a Flaylock round in a microsecond compared to what the Flaylock could. So, to me, kind of made a little bit less sense. But anyway, there must be some grand vision and plan, and that is Ragdoll that is funny as hell. Did you see that? Now that's funny. I think, we'll see what happens, I think. My fear is that railgun tanks will just become some weird, kind of nerfed pile of crap, and then all of a sudden dropships will be incredibly powerful and many other things. So there's no answer. There's no easy answer here. I think there's only really trust in CCP, and let's see what they come up with. I know I'm going to get quoted on that, I'm sure. And we'll see how it goes. Just a few things. Don't know if you watch Bam and Booker the Fucker. They are awesome. They're funny. They're bros. But they very, very maliciously suggested that I may be running for CPM. Let me put this to bed once and for all. For God's sake, I have zero interest in running for CPM. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, he's doing that clever. Hang on. Ooh, look at this. Watch this. Something very odd happens here. No hit, nothing. Evo's dropship ran out of power. Tell me what happened there. Seriously, post in the comments. Tell me what the F happened there. Because he was flying along. Oh, look, we've lost power. Oh, look, we're falling out of the sky. Now, unfortunately, these things don't come with a black box recorder, which would have been nice. But sadly not. Anyway, so yeah, returning to the topic. Bam obviously said, I think maybe Bam, was it Booker? I'd have to check the video again. But one of them was saying, whoa, is he going to go for it? Obviously, they laughed, and it was obviously very true. There is absolutely no way on earth I am going for CPM. So please stop saying it. Please stop sending me mails asking me to run. Please stop. Please leave me alone. I don't want to. And let me be very clear with this. I would break the NDA within minutes, because that NDA to me is, it's not worth the time for me to do it. I wouldn't sign it. I wouldn't become part of it. I don't want to run. I'm not interested. I have no interest in this at all. I watched the CSM done for many years, and I'm skeptical of that process, let's say. I think the CPM is something different, and I think CPM 0 has done good stuff. I think certainly the one thing that I learned from CPM 0 was just how not to post, because the posts that came from a lot of the CPM people was just sort of like terrible kind of infant baby step puppy trolls posts. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that in an evil way. I think literally the way that people speak to each other in this game is hilarious. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody told me that I'm obviously wrong with my opinion because my opinion doesn't match their opinion, and that if I actually educate myself on the matter, I would realize that I am wrong, or something to that effect. So just really terrible communication capability that I just not interested. And let's face it, the CPM, you're going to have to kind of sit in the channel with CCP people who are decent guys, but they're doing this for a job. I think we sometimes often forget that CCP people are being paid to do this game. And, if you imagine your job that you do, I don't know what you do, but if I imagine kind of being told that I could, sit in with a group of real estate, leadership people and, hey, we'll do it for free. We're not going to pay you for this, but hey, you can sit in and you can tell them all your ideas and what you think about this document and that process and this purchase. And, and then just, do that every so often. Then what we'll do is when you're at your busiest, we'll fly you out to a rock in the middle of the ocean. I'm kidding. I'm not trolling, but I'll fly you out to somewhere that you're not necessarily kind of planning to go to, and then we'll sit you in a conference room, not dissimilar to every conference room in the world ever, and we'll sit and talk about dust to the point where you just think to yourself, God almighty, I'm not enjoying this anymore. And that's pretty much reason number one. Reason number two is I just think there are better candidates than me. I barely understand this game, to be honest. I don't really get a lot of what's going on. I engage with the action with fun and folly, but at no point do I really have any clue what the pissing hell's going on. And again, look at that ragdoll. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I play this game for, is for moments like that to relax and unwind from what is quite a high stressful job that I do. And I do the videos, I do, again, there's a thought. If I went for CPM, I wouldn't be able to do my videos because, what would be under NDA, what would be supposedly open for release, what could I talk about? So, no, not for me. I just not interested. So, for the last and final time, and let me just restate, because I know a lot of people are saying, you're biding your time, you're waiting, you're kind of telling everybody, don't vote for me, I'll be terrible. No, it's not a game. No, I'm not. This is no trick. You're going with that kind of, they're really pissed off and not really going to try and do that. No, not me. Not interested. Stop asking, stop suggesting, stop telling. Not interested. The CPM 1 have got quite a job ahead of them, according to the CPMO. I want to say kind of why I think that is, but I'm not going to. It would all be speculation. It would be wild speculation. I have no knowledge at all. But I have a very good reason why CPM 1 is probably going to be a bit of a nightmare, if it's true that it is. But we'll maybe discuss that closer to the time. I think I'm interested to see who's running. I think I'm always interested in hearing kind of people's thoughts. It is disappointing how many people are running who, in my opinion, maybe are running for the wrong reason. Maybe they feel that this is some form of cape with CCP on it that they're just going to be able to wear. Maybe it means because their forum tag will have some kind of weird white tag on it. If you're doing it just for that, then seriously don't. Please don't, because you will be found out, you will be exposed, and you will be ridiculed. And I just think, you should have a very good reason to want to run for CPM. And to be honest, I can't actually think of any good reason to run CPM at all. Really, I can't. I can't honestly sit here and say, I want to make the game better, because no. Oh, I want to support the game. No. There aren't many real reasons, if any, to want to be a CPM, other than that you feel that your opinion is more valid than the other man's or woman's. And I think if that's the case, no, that's not good enough. And I just think there's so you see what I mean? It's almost as if you could say the most likely and suitable candidate to be a CPM is the poor bastard who doesn't want to be it. And I know what you're thinking. Aha, he said all the way through this, he doesn't want to be CPM. No, I'm not talking about me. I am wholly unsuitable. I'm a massive dicklord. And this is why I would be completely unsuitable. And I really don't want to do it. To be honest with you, I just do not give a crap. So there we go, Dio Tribe, as we will call that, on CPM. I think, you know, I'm going to thank Bam, personally, when I'm next in gang with him, for continuing the speculation that this is some kind of massive, you know, monolith, Death Star-sized troll. And I am going to run. No, not. Simple as that. Not interested. So there we go. I hope you've been enjoying the dropshipping that's been going in the background. As you can see, this is something phenomenally interesting. I really do enjoy running dropship with Evo, because he's just crazy. And he's very good, I've got to admit. There's always something very special about fighting alongside people who are just that little bit kind of crazy with the game. And I think Evo has got to be number one when it comes to dropships. I still think he's the best dropship pilot in the game, and I stand by that. For no other reason, you know, when I've played a few rounds with Judge lately, and I've got to admit, Judge is bloody good as well. But I would say that when it comes to, you know, who's the best, what's the best, it can sometimes come down to who is going to survive this. And as I jump out with my moment of impetuousness and I say, do you know what? That's it, we're done, we're dead. I jump out. Do you know what? He kept that dropship alive and went round and killed a few more people. That's how good he is. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Hell of a match. And again, you know, props to everybody we fought against. It's a joy to have matches like this. I wish there were more of them, because at the moment it does feel that the matches are getting a bit few and far between in terms of the very close matches, the kind of very engaging and challenging matches. I think it's because so many people are just so familiar with all the maps now and the weapons, and they've found their fit, their niche, and it's just become a massive kind of comfort blanket almost that we all wrap ourselves in every time we play. And that's why I'm doing tanks. That's why I'm trying to mix it up and do things like bomb trucks. I think it's also why I'm trying to do, you know, very unusual things that I've never done before. So there we go. What a rambling load of nonsense that was. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.